Hey, what's up guys, how's it going? Today we'll be doing a video of the 2019 Rav4 Hybrid. We'll do an outside walk around, an inside tour, and take it on a drive.
Before we get into the rest of this video, I just want to give a huge shout out to Carson Toyota for providing me with this car to review. They're one of the largest dealerships in SoCal and can help you find the Toyota you are looking for. I'll link all their contact information below. Be sure to give it a call if you have any further questions on Toyotas. Alright guys, so let's just start with the specs. This 2019 RAV4 Hybrid Limited is colored in the Blizzard Pearl, which is a $425 option, and I think it looks good. It's powered by the 2.5 cylinder hybrid netting 219 horsepower. So one thing that doesn't make much sense to me honestly is the fact that the electric motor puts out 118 horsepower and 114 pound-feet of torque, and the engine puts out 203 horsepower and 184 pound-feet of torque. So I don't know what Toyota's calculations are to get the system net horsepower of 219, but I guess that's what this combined hybrid system puts out given the way it's set up. The transmission this thing is mated to is an ECVT. So it's an electronic CVT. It has sequential shifting, so you can shift between selected gear ratios that are like stepped into the CVT, but this is exclusive to the hybrid that we're gonna be driving. So once we get to the drive, I'll talk a little about how that feels, how it switches off between electric and the gas engine, because this is new for the RAV4 Hybrid and it hasn't really been implemented before. The beautiful thing of the hybrid is the fact that it puts out 41 mpg in the city and 38 in the highway. And that's amazing for a car of this size, in this weight class, delivering the performance it does. So walking around the car, I'm honestly a big fan of the styling overall. It has adopted more of the Toyota pickup and truck lineup styling, and it looks more like a Tacoma or a 4Runner, just miniaturized. You'll notice from the front, this is a hybrid due to Toyota's signature blue accented logo. This RAV4 is equipped with LED projector lights and daytime running lights, which give it that modern look. Going on to the side, you have that floating roofline body style, which you'll notice from the blacked out portion of the C-pillar, which really gives it an overall, floating roof aesthetic. It's just a design language that Toyota's been moving forward with, and I think it looks good. Looking under the squared wheel arches, you have the 18-inch chrome finished wheels. I prefer more rubber than rim in cars like these to keep the ride comfortable day to day, so I really don't think it should have 19-inch rims or anything like that. Moving to the top, you'll see the moonroof and the low profile roof rails to trap on whatever equipment, bikes, anything you want to take on a hike or a road trip. And lastly, in the rear, there are two things I want to point out. Firstly, the dual tip exhaust, which actually surprised me for a hybrid. I wasn't expecting that. That's usually something you put on like, performance or sport model, but they have it here. The second feature in the rear is the fully powered rear liftgate. It is operated by holding the button on the key fob or just pressing the button on the trunk. Going into the inside, the first thing we want to look at is the black softex seat material, which is a faux leather. It feels really nice, it's super comfortable when I sit in it, and I'll talk a little more about other materials when we get to the driving portion of this review. One thing you'll notice is how many storage spaces there are in the car. As you see from the shelving and the wireless charging cubie in front of the shifter, there's a lot of places to just store your stuff, and that's what you get with a nice practical crossover like this. You can also plug in your iPhone to the 8-inch Entune system and start up Apple CarPlay, and you'll have pretty much your phone in your car. It's great. In the gauge cluster, you have the 7-inch display, which changes its color and its aesthetic depending on the mode you're in, as you'll see here. This is how it looks like when you go from normal to sport, it gets kind of red, and then also when you go to eco, it goes green, which is pretty cool. Okay, so that pretty much covers all interior exterior features and what you get with the RAV4 Hybrid. It's overall pretty practical. You have nice rear seats, it's roomy, and one last thing is the JBL sound system that's in this car. It is an option, and I tested it and it sounded really cool. You get some nice bass with that subwoofer in the rear. Okay, that pretty much covers all the interior and exterior features, so let's get in the car and feel how it drives.
All right guys, we just turned on the car, and as you can tell, there's very little sound because the engine isn't even turned on. So we just turned on the car and we're backing out right now, and as you can tell, the car is pretty quiet. Only thing on is the battery, and you just hear the whirring of the motors. And that's the beauty of a hybrid. I mean, you don't have to turn on the engine. And I think it's on right now, so it's hard hard to tell, which I guess is a good thing, because you can still go around town and it doesn't really feel like you're losing much power. And yeah, so you can see from the B-roll footage here, the gauge cluster is pretty unique. It's got a center display with 2 tachometers, one on the left and one on the right. Your right is your temp and your fuel, and on the left is, you know, whether you're, you know, applying max power, you're efficient, or it's charging the battery. So right now we're in normal mode, so we'll just see how it accelerates. Feels normal. Honestly, I don't really feel like you're getting much. You know, the transition between the battery and the engine turning on is very seamless. And that's a nice thing. It's quiet, so it drives like a normal car. And that's pretty unique. It tells you how efficient you're driving, what your instantaneous MPG is in the gauge cluster, and then your speed is very clear on that readout on the speedometer that goes on the top. All right, so we're gonna actually try sport mode. The gauge cluster turns red, which is pretty cool, and then we'll see what, you know, how the combination of the engine and the battery, you know. And that's pretty solid. I mean, it's 219 horsepower, coming out of a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder. And the weird thing to me was there was no tachometer, so you don't really get a sense of your revs. You just see, okay, you're getting max power of the powertrain system. It's a system output, which I think it's interesting. There's no numbers, you don't know as a percent. I mean, obviously at the end would be 100%, but you don't really have a gauge, I guess, to how much power you are demanding from the powertrain. But I mean, if it's getting you to the speed you want, I guess there's really no point, right? And that's the whole point of a hybrid, you know. Okay, yeah, so I just got on a little there, and it automatically, you can hear the engine kicked in. It's kind of loud, but I think it's good to have that audible sensation that the engine is on and is powering you. We're gonna go into eco and see how it differs. So actually the engine just powered off. I'm in eco mode right now. That's pretty neat. All right, so other things you do have is your blind spot monitoring, your forward collision detection. We tried earlier, you see your backup camera, which has your, you know, projections of where the car is going to go when reversing, which is always a nice thing to have. And even in eco, the engine will come on if you need to, you know, catch up speed. And it doesn't really sense like it's hesitant to turn on the engine. It's pretty willing. And if you're getting this type of like performance and 41 miles per gallon in the city, it's pretty good. So that's how it drives. It handles really well. The visibility is awesome, so you can really place the car where you want to. I don't find much trouble changing lanes, turning, merging. It's all pretty easy. So going on to the interior, very nice materials all around. They're soft touch. Okay, that was the lane keep right there, just trying to make sure I stay in my lane. You always gotta be careful there. But yeah, the shift knob feels very nice. The materials all around your armrest, on the center console, the doors, all very good materials, and I'm honestly impressed with the fit and finish Toyota's bringing to the lineup. I mean, I think it's almost like near a Lexus level. You have this infotainment system in the middle with your Entune. It has Apple CarPlay, so that's pretty much all you're gonna need when it comes to plug and play. Android Auto will be coming in the 2020 model year to the Toyota Entune, so that's something to keep in mind if you're in the Android ecosystem. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what other cars, Toyotas you guys want to see. We have exciting stuff planned for the future, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.